DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from the DNVR Bar on the corner of Colfax and York, here in beautiful Denver, Colorado, where it is actually quite overcast today.
Not even 70 degrees today.
So I just drove down from the mountains. I literally parked my car just now from the mountains.
Wow.
You were wearing your pajamas?
Yeah,
Were they the pajamas?
That's
or at least car clothes. Comfy clothes.
I don't wear clothes to sleep, so I think that would be the definition of pajamas.
Wait, do you go naked or just boxers?
Just boxers.
Okay.
So we've talked about this.
Yeah.
But if that's pajama, what'd you do for like a pajama party when you were in like elementary school or something? Because you can't just go naked.
Showed up in my box.
Wow.
The same thing everyone did. Wore pajama pants, which is like the most. It's like a oxymoron to me. Pants and comfort can never go together.
Wow. Have you heard of sweatpants?
Yeah.
Oh.
Less comfortable than shorts.
Fair.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
There's
Well, they're
times when
more
they're nice.
comfortable than their other pant counterparts.
That's very true. Yes. That's why jeans are awful.
Yeah. So
Well, you can't
anyways,
wear jeans.
my day started perfectly. Blue skies, like 65 degrees.
That crisp
It
mountain
couldn't
air.
be more beautiful in Steamboat, Colorado right now. Driving down, Silverthorne, also beautiful. Blue skies, perfect day. All of a sudden, you come out of the tunnel, dip down a little bit, and you just drive right into like a cloud of fog. And I was just like, hopefully this is short-lived. Nope. Whole Front Range completely covered in. It's kind of, isn't that weird though?
Yeah.
Like super high up, it's beautiful, and then down here, it's all.
You would have thought the
overcast.
opposite.
Yes.
Because that's what it typically is. And this is the beginning of July. Not even 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good 4th?
Great 4th. So I have a 4th of July take for you guys.
Okay.
New 4th of July take just dropped.
Oh.
I don't care what they have to do. Make the 4th of July on Saturday.
I don't think that.
Nope. I don't care what they have to do. Just take away the 1st through 3rd. If the 1st is a Saturday, first day of the month of July, the 4th. Then we'll make up for it on the end. We'll just go through 34 days.
So
It's not the worst idea.
Thank you.
I have a much better idea.
What's wrong with this idea?
That it's a Saturday. Make it a Friday. That way you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah,
You need the
that's
whole
good
day
call.
though.
That's a good
Saturday is just
Yeah.
as much a day event as it is a night
but
event.
if it's Friday, that like all companies will give you the day off. So 3-day
True.
weekend.
call. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
You hear?
Okay.
Nice.
Good shit, yeah, here.
Nice. Or why not just do what a lot of countries do? They take 1 week as a country. They typically surround it by a holiday, and then just say everyone has that week off. Like everyone's off. In many countries, they do this. I don't know if it's around their Independence Day, but why not just do it around the 4th? The whole week
yes.
off.
4th of July should be a week-long holiday.
Yes.
We can just call
It shouldn't be
it can
called-
just be the 4th of July, then the next day is the 4th, and the next day is the 4th.
It
You
should
just
be
catch
called
up when you're done.
1st of July in reference to the first week of July.
Is off.
And we should just like, historians can just say like, yeah, we can't actually pinpoint exactly when Independence Day
Like
was.
Jesus.
But it was definitely in that week. We're just going to need to give everyone the whole week off.
Didn't it take a couple of days to sign the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Probably. They
Yeah.
had to like one guy sign it,
Yeah.
then, horseback, I assume,
Yep.
to the next
Yeah.
guy's house.
It's not like they were all in
I don't
one
know if
room
that's
or
it.
anything.
Wait,
No.
No, there's
But
no
it should be-
paintings of that.
That week should be from Wednesday to Wednesday. That way you got 2 shortened workday weeks, and you got the whole weekend.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
What if we
yeah,
just get
yeah.
July off? It's
don't-
the best month that we
I
have.
can also go along with July is the best month.
Because don't you
Yep.
doesn't America, how many vacation days do people usually get? 15?
I would say 2 weeks. Yeah.
15? So I feel like you could make that like What would that be? I'd be like 35 to get the whole month off.
Oh hell yeah! Now we're talking.
I feel like that's not. Oh, I wonder what other countries have for vacation days.
Strawberry Sky
A lot
July, everyone should have it off.
Oh man, that was that yesterday for you?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
lots of Strawberry Skies yesterday.
Now, do you do beer Olympics? It's not beer Olympics. It's
Family Olympics, aka the Family Cup, and Allie and I, back-to-back champs. No one's ever unseated us. 2 for 2.
wow.
My family hates me.
Because of how you celebrate,
Just-
how you rub it in.
Yeah, and then I just
No.
win.
What?
Like,
But you said-
they all want me to lose. They try to make, when they had, when Tiger was winning all the tournaments, and so they started trying to Tiger-proof the courses.
Yeah.
That's what my family does in this thing. Everyone wants me to lose, but I can't lose.
Just like when we do drafts, and you guys don't let me pick my things.
We
We're
should
not
honestly just let
Henry-proofing it
Henry
because we
pick
know
whatever he wants, and he'll still
and
lose.
he'll still
That's
find
fair.
a way to mess it up. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're just trying to make all these rules.
But I'm confused. You say you're back-to-back champs, but you never lose. Doesn't that mean you lost 3 years ago?
No, we didn't have it 3 years ago.
Oh.
It's a new family
COVID.
tradition.
Oh,
COVID.
I think you gotta say something besides back-to-back. You gotta say just like
Undefeated.
Yeah,
we are
I mean,
undefeated.
that makes it even stronger.
And like, there's more events added this year. They changed the scoring system. They made it worth 10 points if both players on your team do a polar plunge into the lake, knowing that I wouldn't want to do that. But of course I did
You
it
did
anyway.
it,
I'm like,
yeah.
Wow.
I looked at Allie. I'm like, because she was like, just so you know, I'm not doing that. I was like, me either. Then I looked at the scoreboard after like 2 events, and I was like, we have no choice. They cooked the results. We're gonna lose if we don't go into the lake. So we win the lake.
She did it too?
Yep, she did it
Damn.
too. I was gonna do a front. I was like a little drunk at this point. I was gonna do a front flip into the lake, and Allie was like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!" I'm like, I kind of want to do it. Then she jumps in the lake, and it was like this deep. I was like, thank God I didn't do a front flip.
Oh
into that.
my gosh, you might not be here with us today.
Yeah, it could have
Wow.
been very bad.
The lake I was at, they don't let people in it, which is crazy.
What lake is this?
Lake Dillon,
It
Dillon
is
Lake.
Lake Dillon. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a law. You're not allowed to be
So
inside
you're
the
allowed
water.
to be on it, just not in it.
Yeah,
You
as
know
soon
why?
as you touch it, because they say it's too cold. They said it's
That's
too
not
cold
the
that it's
reason
dangerous.
That I've heard. I mean,
Oh.
that may be what I've heard. That's Denver's drinking water. So they don't want Hank swimming in Denver's drinking water.
Oh, well, the
Hey,
weird thing
peas
is the
and
only
pools,
time
so-
anybody got in off the boat was when they had to pee.
Oh, well, that's.
Also, looking at that water, people should not be drinking that.
I'm
like
sure
that
it
does
goes-
not
goes
look
through
close
sure
to
it goes
drinkable.
through a lot of
Processes.
processing.
I mean, it better because that stuff. It's like green.
Well, there's also
brown.
like fish and stuff in it.
There
They
was
also
one
have
kid.
to relieve themselves.
Oh my god, there was this kid. He couldn't have been. I don't know. I'm bad with child ages. We'll say between 3 and 8. He
Big range.
he was down there on the edge of the water and just found this dead fish, just like this big, and he picked it up. And I saw him pick it up, but his parents didn't see him pick it up. And I was like, is it my responsibility to say like, kid, stop that, put that fish down? It was like a good 5-6 seconds before his mom turned around and was like, oh no, throw that back in the water, throw it back in the water. Just disgusting.
That is gross.
That sounds like a
Anyways,
kid thing to do.
Back to my championship. So obviously there's 3 teams. Me and Allie, my mom and dad, and then my sister and her husband.
Yep.
And we never came in third in any event. And I think out of 10 events, we came in first in 8 of them.
Wow.
So in bags, we played 2
Cornhole.
games, cornhole bags, whatever you want to call it.
Cornhole.
Aggregate score 42-9.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then ladder golf. Are you familiar?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ladder golf, I think, was almost the exact same, 42-9.
Wow.
Do you feel like you should just start picking on someone your own size?
I
mean,
do,
This
yeah.
seems unfair.
Yeah. I feel like I need a new family. Like I need to go
Wow.
to the big leagues of families.
Well, you know
Wow.
how you can get a new family? You can create your own family, Ryan.
That's true.
Wow, that's right.
Maybe starts with a ring.
Yep. And then Allie's family is like 80 deep. So we probably have more competition on that
So
side of
instead
things.
of
Also
competing-
younger too. Like Allie's family has more like college kids that can actually compete with you.
So instead of competing against 2 teams in your family, you'd be competing against 38 teams in her family.
It would be sick. The family Olympics would be crazy.
You would need the entire week of the 4th of July to compete that.
Oh,
Yep.
you would.
Is that true? Jared says they call ladder golf donkey balls.
I never called it that. Very
In
believable.
Montana.
Very
I
believable.
mean, if you hold the string in the middle,
Do donkeys
I-
kind
hang
of look
low?
like that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
the
probably.
one time I was in Mexico, it was actually on a cruise. You get off and you know how you get off a cruise and there's just like all these people trying to sell you stuff.
Yes.
Like in Jamaica, it's like
Well, I've never been
20
on a
people
cruise,
trying to
but
like braid your
makes
hair.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you get off and it's like, oh, buy this like Broncos poncho thing or whatever. There's one guy who's like, take a picture of my donkey. That donkey, just a massive, like, it's the only thing I remember basically from that entire cruise. So if you say donkey balls are like that, I totally believe it.
Yeah, I bet. I've always wanted to go on a cruise, and then recently, someone who went on a cruise told me it was like being stuck on a Walmart in the sea, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to go on cruises anymore.
I think you have to go on like a good one, like because we went on like a Royal Caribbean one. Again, I don't know. I have bad interest when it comes to vacations. Like first of all, I'm just not super interested in the first place. But what I like
You're
to
not
do,
interested in vacations?
not
That's,
really. No,
that's mind blowing. I couldn't imagine that.
it's
Yeah.
just such a hassle.
It's maybe the thing I'm most interested in.
Oh my
Really?
goodness. Yeah, me too.
Even like we went up to the cabin for the weekend. It's like 3 days is a lot of days to be up here and away from home.
I'm kind
but
of
that's
with Hank
where
on this one, but I think it might be because of I think it might be a little bit because of the age that we haven't worked as much as you guys or done
Oh.
as that. Like you guys have gone through more time. Because I'm not like looking forward to vacations. I take
Oh
them because
my
other people in
gosh.
my family like to.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I get
You're so
excited,
selfless, you
But
hear.
What
I
the-
don't
like-
look into them. Like I'm not like
Ooh,
I need
like-
to do this.
Relaxing and eating good food and like being in warm weather doesn't like get you going.
I'm a
that's what I do here.
Mind-blowing.
That's what I do here.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
have a
rhythm
good life.
guy. Like once I get out of rhythm, I'm out of rhythm, and it sucks for like the
It
next
is that
month or
is
two.
true.
Like I
Oh,
just don't
the-
need
yeah.
like I don't have enough things to do to fill my days when I'm not here.
I think I had a rhythm like 2 years ago that was broken by a vacation that I've still never gotten back.
Wow.
I love my life here.
course.
And I'm here, 95% of the time?
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. So this isn't an indictment on my life here, but vacations are the best thing in the world. And I actually thought that Ryan was crazy taking a way less mellow disagreement to this when I asked him a couple of years ago. And Hank, you're just going to disagree with it even more. So my fiance and I talked about when we were on vacation once. I was like, I could live on vacation. Like my entire life could be a vacation. And I just thought that was like a bold statement, or not a bold statement, that everyone would accept and be like, yeah, of course. And she's like, no, I like miss routine. 1 week-ish is about the right amount of time. And then I want to go back. I'm like, gotta be crazy. Like, and I'm talking like, not realistic, but a vacation where you're staying at nice places, you kind of get whatever you want. You don't have to worry about money. Like, how would you not want that for your life? And I come back and Ryan's like, no, yeah, I kind of agree with Annika there.
Yeah, I definitely reach a limit where I'm like, all right, time to go home. But
Easy.
in this now like fairy tale world that you've created where
Yes.
money's not an
Yes.
object and you just stay on vacation forever, yeah, that sounds pretty great.
Okay.
And then the reason I like a cruise so much, you get your little room, you can just sit there, watch movies, like the ocean's just right outside. It's time for dinner. You go get like an incredible dinner in like this incredible place. Like there's just buffets all day. They'll just bring you food whenever you want. Like go play a couple rounds of mini golf every day. Like there's a gym that makes it really easy. Like it's actually relaxing instead of like you go somewhere and it's like, oh, well, what do we do all day? It's like, oh, let's just walk around and try to
Nothing.
entertain myself.
But then, like, you have the whole world or city at your foot. You on a boat, you're just stuck. You can't go anywhere. And maybe I've never
That's
been on a
nice.
cruise. I'm sure if you get to the right cruise, it's fantastic. But all I can think of with cruises is the poop cruise, the Carnival poop cruise. When was that? 5 years ago, when
happened?
all the toilets backed up and the sewage system didn't work, and like
There's a lot
there
of
was
horror
sewage
stories.
floating down the
Like
aisles, hallways
yeah.
and stuff, and people were stranded and like contemplating
Wow.
jumping off because it was so bad. It was like a
Damn.
horror story.
That would be horrible.
That is crazy.
This is a tough question. So,
Real
Lexi,
quick.
one of Lexi's friends got invited to a wedding.
ahead.
Yeah, in May in Hawaii. But May is when the Nuggets and Avalanche are in the playoffs. So it's
Next
like
year.
yeah. And so, do I really want to spend so much money to go to Hawaii when I'm just gonna want to be at the bar watching the playoffs?
The thing is, that's okay because it's early playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not late
Yeah.
playoffs.
I
You're
don't
right,
want to
you're
miss.
here.
I've got season tickets.
What part of May?
I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. Early May, yes. Late May, no.
I just don't think I could do it. Like, because I think the whole time there, I'd just be like, oh my God, I wish I was home. Why did I spend so much money to be away from home?
The good thing, I wouldn't want to live in Hawaii not for this reason, but this wouldn't be a perk of living in Hawaii, but this is a perk of visiting Hawaii. The games are at like 11 a.m. And so you're just chilling by the pool. You put it on your phone or your iPad at the pool. You have the drinks coming in. I mean,
I couldn't do it.
For like 2 Nuggets games and 2 Avs games, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you come back to the craziness in rounds 2 and 3.
See, I would just be a head case. Like, I mean, for the whole time I was there, I'd just be freaking out about the whole thing. And then they win, and I just would want to lock myself in the room and rewatch it. They lose, and I'd just be miserable all day. I don't think I could do it.
One of my worst sports experiences ever, and I have had some good sports experiences watching games on the road. Like, I watched a Nuggets-Clippers game in the bubble for Mexico, and it was fine. But the day before that was Avs Stars Game 7. And being in like a random bar in Mexico, not surrounded by anyone else who cares, and watching a game of that magnitude and then they lose is just like the weirdest, most empty feeling ever. You're just like, you're like looking around, you're like, no one knows the pain that I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I'm like, I'll have another margarita, I guess.
I think it's in that situation, it's probably better that they lost than if they won. Obviously, that doesn't come across right.
Because if they won, I was guaranteed to be able to like get back to the bar for more games. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If they won though, and you're just celebrating by yourself, like if they lose, you get to go back to Mexico and like kind of escape it a little bit.
When everyone around sees that you're really happy, like that's good for them. You know, everyone's like, "Hey, congrats on whatever that thing you're happy about is."
Yeah, that's fair.
When you're sad, they're just like, "Oh, what a sad sack."
That's true. But Henry, the way you're acting, I don't think you can go.
I don't think I can go either.
Yeah, just
Wedding in Hawaii is sick.
Dude, I think
it is
watch
true.
the game because if they win, you can just get drunk at the beach. If they lose, you can just get drunk at the beach. Here, if they lose,
I don't want to get drunk if they lose.
why not?
I don't want to get drunk if they win.
You forget. You forget if they lose. If they lose, you can forget with
I
alcohol.
would not forget. I would be miserable for literally. I mean, I guess it depends on what they lose. If they lose a series, imagine if they lost a series right before a trip to Hawaii.
In early
I would just
May,
be
too?
miserable the entire week.
But imagine
You'll be fine.
Let's
I would
say,
not be fine.
And I'm
You'll be
touching, I'm
fine.
touching wood here. Imagine if both teams are out of the playoffs before the trip to Hawaii even happens, and then Lexi's in Hawaii, and you're not there, and then you're
Will
not
she go
even at the
without you?
bar.
I don't know. I don't know whose wedding it is.
I think you need to go on this one.
I don't think I can.
There's certain ones that like
I have tickets
you gotta
to the
know.
games.
You gotta know your battles.
Yeah.
Like I can't go because it's the second round of the NBA playoffs. It's just not a good one.
That's just
Yeah,
that's my
probably
time.
not.
That's when I'm not leaving.
Hey, you already did a Avs championship and a Nugget championship. You're okay to miss a series or a
No,
game or
I'm
two.
not. I
Like,
want
you're
more.
fine.
Also, you're saying you have tickets. If you sell those tickets, that's gonna pay for your trip.
Here's the crazy
but
thing,
then-
dude.
But you want to sell the ones later on. Like this year, like
You get
I
to-
couldn't have even got my money back
True.
from the Minnesota series.
You can actually spin taking a vacation to Hawaii as
Yeah.
like you doing a thing for her.
Yeah.
That is such a huge dub
Yeah,
for you.
it's
I just,
true.
I'm
You're
just-
like, you know what, babe? I'm gonna go and I'll just try and find the games and I'll make it happen for you.
Yeah.
don't-
Don't
'Cause
worry
I know
about me.
this
Don't
means
worry about me.
because I know this means a lot to you.
even
See-
you take the games away. That's so much money to spend to just.
It is.
Like I don't even know what I want to do in Hawaii.
You
Like, I
chill
live a
by
good
the
life.
wall,
Would I-
beach,
So sick.
Yeah.
If the Rockies were there, I just want to go to a Rockies game.
No,
and I
you
can just
wouldn't.
do that here.
I
One
think
day, some things are gonna click in your head, and
Maybe.
experiencing things is gonna be worth something to you.
I think Henry's already putting Ryan's idea into motion. He's gonna show Lexi this show and be like, "See,
Look how much I didn't
I
wanna go."
really want to stay here." But for you, so Henry, I think you're playing this smart.
Yeah.
You're getting it. What? You're getting it started 10 months in advance.
If I could do
Smart.
it.
Well,
Smart.
I wanted
Could
to
you
tell
imagine-
the people a while ago that eventually we're going to talk about who's going to lead the Broncos in sacks today.
Oh.
It's true.
But it's a little late now because
Yeah.
now we're going to make it to that.
We're
I
gonna
mean-
make it to
to the real Broncos talk.
We could push this conversation for 2 weeks if we wanted to.
We could. It's a good combo.
We could push all the Broncos conversations for 2 weeks, but still stay and watch.
But we could also push the should you go to Hawaii conversation to when you actually have to decide. Can we have like a decision day pod?
Oh, yeah, live. I'll get the hats. One with like a Hawaiian flag, one just like Nuggets hat.
Man.
We can definitely make that happen.
Nuggets, abs, in Hawaii.
Can't you just like
make a lot of
zoom into
things
a
that
wedding
happen.
or something?
People did do that during COVID.
Especially like if you're having,
We're 3 years away.
especially if you're going to have your wedding in Hawaii, which I don't know if them
believe we're still
having
talking about
again.
this.
I don't know who these people are, but I assume they don't live in Hawaii. And if they're having their wedding in Hawaii, I take that as a message
Okay.
that you don't want me to be there.
I was gonna say this is the one thing when people have destination weddings, they assume that at least 50% of the people they invited aren't gonna come because of it.
Exactly.
and they're banking on that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I don't think I am wanted. Otherwise, I would have had that wedding somewhere where it wouldn't cost me $1,500.
I recently
to
got
go.
invited to a destination wedding that just feel like I'm probably pretty low on the list. Like I feel like I was in the hopefully they don't come part, but it's just too good. I'm going. I'm definitely going.
What's the destination?
I don't want to say it. 'cause,
Okay,
yeah.
fair.
But like, I'm going.
I mean, they invited you.
Right.
If they invite you,
And I'm like,
it's
oh
there.
man, it's perfect timing for me. Like, it's in a time of the season that I can get away. And I was just like, yeah, you give me an excuse to go to this place at that time,
Yeah.
I'm going.
Hank maybe doesn't even have to. Hank doesn't have to worry about this. Potentially, he might not just be invited. Are you sure you're invited?
Maybe she didn't have a plus one.
Yeah.
She had
maybe
it-
they don't want you, Hank.
She had indicated that there is a plus one.
Yeah. I would
that
assume
means
so.
she's indicating she wants you to go.
Yep.
But that
Enjoy.
means
We'll give you a list of things to do.
that means
Like just sit there and
the
be
beach.
bored.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, bring your book. Guess what? I can read a book here. And you know what else I could do? I could blow $1,500. Just I don't know if I want to have lobster every night while I read my book,
Well-
and then still have money left over.
Henry-
Lobster wouldn't be as good.
I don't even know if they have lobsters in Hawaii. They might have to
They
ship it
do.
even farther.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sure
they have
they've
something.
got every single thing. But if you do go to Hawaii, put your tickets on Game Time to help the people
There you go.
out, and especially playoff tickets. Game Time is the place to go because playoff tickets can get absurd. And we've mentioned other ticket places out there, and we just bitch and moan because
We do.
the pricing and fees
I'm
are
good at that.
absolutely ridiculous. Not at Game Time because they're just straight up with you. You click on the all-in price, and it tells you exactly how much you're going to pay after everything. So you know what you're getting into. You know what the prices are, and it's just the best prices. And they say Game Time because the closer you get to Game Time, the cheaper the tickets are. I mean, we've all lived it with the Avs and Nuggets, just waiting exactly until the right moment, buy the tickets. I mean, Ryan, you wait sometimes until you're right about to walk into the stadium to buy your tickets. And if you want $20 off your tickets to the Avs and Nuggets playoff run next year, if you wanted to go to a Rockies game, I mean, $20 off a Rockies ticket will get you in for free. So if you want to do that this summer, check out our friends over at Game Time and use the code DNVR when you sign up to get $20 off your first purchase. Go to the App Store, download Game Time, and create an account and use that code DNVR when you sign up in order to get $20 off your first purchase over with our friends at Game Time.
Quick horror story.
Oh,
Went
no.
to an event recently that, for whatever reason, Game Time didn't have. Paid $200 in fees.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Was it
And
the family Olympics yesterday?
I literally felt like I was beaten and robbed.
That is insane. But then you're already so far down the process.
Oh,
You're
and
like-
I was doing that thing I do where I don't I already commit to going to the event
Yeah.
before, which actually really works. Like 9 times out of 10, the amount of money I've saved doing this probably makes up for
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like every 5 minutes, the tickets were just going up higher, 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 and like I'm at the stadium. I'm not going at this point.
No.
Wow.
So I got raked.
Damn.
I have some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Yahir made the unfortunate decision to ban me in the chat.
Let's go.
which means
here.
which means I need to waste podcast time talking about things that did not deserve to be podcast time.
I stand by it,
somebody
Yahir.
somebody in the chat said because Adam said in a meeting that we should take Eric's note and maybe involve ourselves in the chat sometimes. He said, a Bronco Nut said, I feel so bad for Hank's girlfriend/fiance if he is really like this. Yes, I am like this, but I'm very clear that I am not any fun. That's not who I am as a person, and so she shouldn't be surprised.
Why are you lying right now?
I'm not fun.
You are fun.
I'm not fun.
I've seen you be fun.
I'm not. When the Nuggets are on?
Yeah.
When the
probably-
Nuggets are on.
Probably non-sporting events is Henry fun.
Yes.
Can you name a time? And parades don't count because that's technically a sporting
And
event.
golfing either, because that's you're
Yep,
playing
that's a sporting
sport.
event.
Yeah.
Well, then I can't be around
Okay.
anyone at any part of my life.
Ryan, I bet you have fun at weddings. That's a non-sporting event.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a wedding with Henry yet.
Henry's
And
just
true.
saying that he's no fun at weddings.
I'm not.
Oh
believe
no, I have
Henry
been
in
to a
what he
wedding.
says.
Lindsay and Brandon.
Yeah.
That's right.
You were
Was
fun.
Was I fun? I can't.
Yep.
Oh, we went out with the Spanos. Oh, wow, that's right.
Was that?
I don't know.
Were you single then?
No, but
Okay.
I was early on with Lexi, and other
she
people
there?
were inviting strangers, and I thought it was too soon to go with Lexi, not knowing that apparently at weddings, you just take anybody.
Yeah.
That
I
was
didn't know
really
that
my.
either.
I hadn't been to a wedding, and I don't even know how long at that point. Like, and nobody I knew had gotten married. It's like, oh, you're somebody whose mom works with your parents. Like, they got married, so now you get to go. Like, I don't know. I didn't know
Yeah,
any
if
people.
they
Yeah,
grant you a
that's fair.
+1, it's could be anybody.
Not my wedding. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, you have to decide. You just have to decide who you give +1s
No
to.
+1s coming to the courthouse that day.
Oh.
One time,
I'm gonna push for it.
He's not doing courthouse.
I got invited to a wedding and I didn't get a +1 while I had a girlfriend of like 6 months, and it was like, wow, this is. You couldn't be telling me more clearly that you don't like my girlfriend.
Wow.
And probably good call by them.
Yep.
Wow. Also, see how much time just got wasted because Yahir banned me in the chat.
It's true.
I
Yep.
don't know. You're not banned anymore.
Also, are you going to tell them about
I got
Ibotta?
banned. Yes, I am. So Ibotta, it's a cool new app that everybody who's trendy is using, and someday I'm going to start using as well. I really should. I kept thinking about it over the weekend when I kept paying for things. But basically how it works is you just take pictures of your receipt when you buy something. So like you go to the grocery store and you buy a bunch of groceries, or you go to like Dick's Sporting Goods. I go there a lot.
Yep.
And it'll be like, oh, need some golf balls or something. Whatever. You go scan your receipt, and you'll just get sent money back because there's all these rebates on things that you don't even know about and nobody tells you about, but Ibotta goes and finds them so that when you scan it, they'll just send you money. And so a lot of people will just wind up over the course of a year just getting $100 or so. I think the average Ibotta user gets $120 per year in real cash back. They also have other stuff. Like you were saying, you can just go to the store and scan like whatever's at the store and see if you get cash back.
You know on your phone through the app already.
Oh, okay.
So you go to a liquor store, and this is a great place to do it. 6-pack of Breck beer, let's say, is $8, and then the liquor store has it on sale for $2 more, so it's $6. And then Ibotta says we're gonna give you another $3. So you just got a 6-pack of Breck brew for $2.
Wow.
Wow.
This is sick.
Yeah, and especially right now because a typical basket of groceries last year was right now it was last year. Was $50 more expensive than it was at the start of the year. So over the course of those 12 months.
brutal.
And again, like I have noticed that prices are higher, but also I just go and get like, here's like a thing of berries, here's like a thing of lettuce, and here's a bunch of frozen chicken breasts. I'm just gonna eat this for every meal until it runs out. So I don't spend $50 when I go, but for the people who do,
This is a crazy thing that's happening.
It is.
The prices of groceries.
it's
Like,
dumb.
This is definitely a privileged place to be from, but like I would normally just go to the grocery store knowing what I needed and then just grab it all and put it in my bag and then like find out how much it costs later.
Dangerous.
Now you can't do that.
No.
You got to be like, wait a minute, this is $27. Like
Yeah.
I could order this from a restaurant.
It's
and it would be
true.
cheaper than that.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. All you gotta do, go to the App Store or go to Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app. So that's IBOTTA. So it sounds like Ibotta, but it's its own kind of made up sort of word, which is cool and trendy. So IBOTTA in the Google Play or the App Store. Use the code DNVR so that they know that we sent you.
Yeah, J-Dog tuning in right now says, hey, friends, finally get to catch the tail end of a stream.
Or are you catching the
we hadn't
beginning?
even started.
Good news for you, J-Dog. I think we've said Broncos once when you said DNVR Broncos Podcast.
Honestly, there
Oh,
was a lot
yes.
to talk about,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I mean, I knew coming off a holiday.
Yeah.
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 Some of the best first segments.
Yeah.
It's been 4 days. Well, wait, no, we did talk Monday, didn't we?
We did talk
Monday doesn't feel
I was a
real
little
to me. That
half-assed,
podcast
yeah.
doesn't exist.
It
in
doesn't
my
I
brain.
wasn't
real.
Yeah, I
Like I
wasn't
was about
totally
to tell you
locked
guys
in.
about the Dead Show again. I'm like, wait, I already did that.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Broncos.
Oh,
The Broncos.
A good question today on the ledger, which is who will lead this team in sacks? And sometimes it's a good thing if there's not a clear answer. In this case, I don't know how good of a thing it is.
yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
bad thing. I think with leading the team in sacks, you want there to be a clear answer, unless you're in a potentially fantastic spot where you're talking about 2 top 5 picks that could be competing to lead the team. That's what we thought with Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. We thought that was going to be such a great debate for 7 years. We thought that was going to last. Like, man, is Von going to do it this year? Is it going to be Bradley? And the first year that those two were together, it was that. Von Miller had 14 sacks. Bradley Chubb had 12 and a half. Since then, it's been so sad. In fact, guys, a couple trivia questions for you. When was the last time the Broncos had one person that had double-digit sacks?
Did Malik Reed do it?
Is that your guess?
He didn't.
He got 9.5 or something.
I mean, it would have been Vaughn unless it was Bradley Chubb. I'm going to go Vaughn in 2016.
It was Von and Bradley Chubb in that season when
Wow.
Bradley Chubb was a rookie. They both had double-digit sacks. Von had 14. Bradley Chubb had 12 and a half. Not one person has had double-digit sacks. And Von was on the team for a
Who's
couple
been
of
the
years after
closest?
that. Malik Reed
Okay.
was the closest at 8
8?
sacks.
Oh my
so that was
God.
2018. So you have 2019, 2020, 21, 22. So 4 seasons without a single player in double-digit sacks for half of the time. You were paying a guys a bunch of money. You had 2 top 5 picks. So the sack department, and there has been injuries sprinkled in here, of course, but the sack department for the Broncos has been so disappointing and underwhelming.
It really has been. And the sad part is it started with Vaughn and Chubb. Like the downhill kind of slope started with them where they weren't healthy or they weren't producing. There was the famous 4 games with Vic Fangio, or neither one of them notched a sack for the first 4 games together. And it just feels like everything from that position, I'm putting that in air quotes, has been disappointing since. It's try this, try that, sign Randy Gregory for a ton of money, whatever it may be. Like there's a flash from Baron Browning and it's like, wow, maybe they found the guy. And then he just completely tapers off and disappears. So it's a shame. And in my opinion, you are crossing your fingers and praying that Randy Gregory can be that guy who lives up to his contract this year, because everything else, anyone else becoming the leader in sacks probably means another year without a double-digit sack person or a crazy breakout.
Yeah.
Spot on. You're 100% right. Randy Gregory is this a Star Wars reference? The Lone Hope? I feel like there's a Star Wars
a
name
New
there.
Hope.
We'll call
is
it-
a movie.
A New Hope? Well, he can't be a New Hope because
No.
he was their hope last year,
No,
too.
it's-
But at least it's from Star Wars.
It's one of the
Yeah, that's
offshoot
true.
ones.
Yeah,
It's called
it was like-
The Lone Hope.
Yeah. He's their lone hope, though. And he is their only chance at getting, I shouldn't say their only chance. He's the majority
pretty close.
chance at getting double-digit sacks, because there's one other person on this team that has had there's one person on this
'cause
team
Randy
that
Gregory
has
hasn't done
had
it either.
double-digit sacks in his career. You know who it is?
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark. You know how many years ago he did that?
4.
I think probably 5 or even 6 years ago. So
Yikes.
you're diving way back into the past to when he had, I believe, 2 seasons where he topped double-digit sacks. I believe he had 13 and 14 with the Seahawks, signed a massive contract with the Chiefs. With the Chiefs, he was good in the regular season, like solid good, but getting paid a ton. But where he made his money with the Chiefs was in the playoffs with like 10.5 postseason sacks. He had, I believe, nearly as many sacks as Von Miller had in the Super Bowl 50 run. He had that in 1 postseason with the Chiefs, so he was just incredible in the postseason.
Isn't he flirting with like all-time numbers?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he's second or
Third?
third most. Yeah, third most postseason sacks. So right up there. But in the regular season with the Chiefs, he's been good. And that's about it. So you got to go back 7 years to get double-digit sacks of someone on this team. And no one on this team has ever led this team in sacks. You know who did the past 3 years? 3 different people who led the Broncos in sacks the past 3 seasons.
Malik Reed,
Draymond.
3 years ago,
Draymond.
Draymond.
Was Bradley Chubb last year?
No.
No.
I don't know if Bradley's ever led the team in sacks, which is
I don't
kinda
think
crazy.
so.
One guy. It's bad.
Oh, Shelby Harris.
Shelby Harris.
Oh.
Yep. And so Zach
Should retire the
Allen
number.
has been dropped in the comments. People
Sack
saying him,
Allen.
Sack Allen. I love that. Should I change my name to Zac Stevens?
No.
Pretty good.
It would
Sounds-
mean something else
Yeah.
if it wasn't a football player.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right about that. So if it's Zach Allen though, oh geez, again, bad news. I want Zach Allen to lead the defensive linemen
Sure.
in sacks, but if he's leading the team in sacks, how tough is it for an interior defensive lineman to get 10 sacks?
Pretty tough.
I mean, you got to be
especially
like,
if you're not like generational.
exactly. You think of Aaron Donald, and then
Yeah.
anyone else that doesn't get double-digit sacks as an interior guy, you're not really disappointed.
If they get 10, you're doing backflips.
Yes, exactly. And so
Almost any player in the league that's not named Aaron Donald getting 10 sacks from the interior, their team would be ecstatic.
and that person's getting paid $25
Yes.
million dollars a season. And so if it's Zach Allen, bad news. And Ryan, I agree with you. If it's anyone but Randy Gregory, this is probably really bad. In the off chance that Frank Clark finds his youth again, which not counting on. In the off chance that Baron Browning stays healthy is the first thing, which is also key with Randy Gregory, but then becomes a pass rusher consistently that we've seen flashes of. Because we saw flashes where it was like, oh my gosh, this guy can definitely get 10 sacks. But so he has to stay healthy and do that. So I think it's Randy Gregory, or for the most part, bust for this team.
Yeah, probably. There's still, I mean, Nick Benito exists. You have to at least like acknowledge him in the conversation.
I'm happy you said his name.
Yep, there's a.
I'm not laughing at Nick Benito. I'm just laughing at the way you framed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the truth though. He's a second round pick last year, and he's a speed rusher. And
Yeah.
if you're a speed rusher and you're not refined, you don't know how to get around the edge, it's going to look really, really bad because
If
you're
you-
just going to get hit hard and pushed back, and that's what happened over and over again last
If
year.
you didn't just say his name, I wouldn't have thought about him. This
Wow.
entire conversation.
Yeah, there's like a couple things. I mean, there's one thing. His pressure, his pressure rate last year is the pressure rate, not the win rate. It was surprisingly high. I think it was like 17%, which is comparable to what you see from some of the guys who actually did get a lot of sacks last season. It's not enough
some
to get
hope.
too
There's some
excited
hope, though.
about. Like, it's a lot of like, I don't know. He wound up with 14 hurries, 3 hits, and 2 sacks. So you get a lot of the thing that is like really far away from something good, because, you know, hurry doesn't mean all that much. It means you're a couple steps away. A hit means you're 1 step away. A sack means that you actually got there. So, I mean, there's at least that. And there's no reason to really think that he's going to be in the conversation for most sacks this year. But,
Could
I
be.
mean, he exists.
Totally new staff, clean slate.
Yeah.
Give him a chance and see what happens. Baron Browning also, he's so bendy that you just can imagine him putting up numbers. I really quick have to go back to Frank Clark because I would just randomly, this hit me. Frank Clark is like low-key counting on Russell Wilson to get him to the Hall of Fame.
Because what he
Wow.
did with Seattle?
No, well, a little bit, but he has 13 and a half career playoff sacks right now.
Oof.
He's 1 behind Bruce Smith for second place.
Pretty good.
And he's 2.5 behind Willie McGinnis for the most ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Russell Wilson could somehow get him to the playoffs, he could potentially become the all-time leader in playoff sacks, and that's pretty much just like a ticket to the Hall of Fame.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
I think in the playoffs, he's put up a 13.5 sack pace
Listen to the
in the regular season. So, like, if that just translates, then he could be awesome this season.
Listen to the other names that are on this list. Like I said, Willie McGinnis, Bruce Smith, Terrell Suggs, Reggie White, Clay Matthews, James Harrison, Dwight Freeney.
Yeah.
I mean, Von Miller. This is just a
All
list of the
Hall of
best
Famers?
pass,
Yes,
like the
yes.
best pass rushers ever.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And if he is at the top of that, when it matters the most,
Yeah. He's
Dang.
going to the Hall of Fame.
it's a really good point.
He's
And
2.5 sacks.
if the Broncos win 1 playoff game this year, it's very easy for Frank Clark to get 2 sacks in 2 games.
Yes.
Wow.
And then he'd be a half sack short of the record.
That is wild. That is wild.
And how old is he? 30? 31?
Yeah. I think so, right there.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got time too.
Yeah. So
he really should have
30.
stay with the Chiefs.
just gone to any team that was like a lock to make the playoffs.
Yeah. It's a good point. Well, not when you're getting probably $7.5 million. That was probably a big reason to come here.
Just like take the vet min.
Yeah.
Just go try and set a record.
Well, and with Frank, he clearly sees an opportunity. Unfortunately, Baron Browning, they signed him once they realized how bad Baron Browning's injury was. He might not be ready to go for week 1, starting the training camp on the PUP. Randy Gregory, everyone knows that he's not going to stay healthy. I hope that's not the case, but he's just never done it throughout his career. So Frank Clark says, yeah, I don't have to be great to be a starter. I just literally have to be available. And that's the biggest reason why I think Frank Clark, to give the answer to this pod, is going to lead the team in sacks, is because he is available. Baron Browning, not going to be available this whole season. We already know that. Randy Gregory, we pretty much know he's not going to be available this entire season. Randy Gregory's most talented by far.
Oh, you're saying not going to be available for all the games.
Yes. No, not
The way you made it
impossible.
sound made me think like, did I miss something about someone being out for the season?
No. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. He's going to miss at least a couple of games. Just he has his entire career, and I think it's crazy to assume otherwise. Frank Clark, though, I think he's played in 13 games every single season at least, and he's really missed 2 to 3 games. Other than that, he's pretty much been counted on. And then you do have other guys. You mentioned Nick Bonito. Right now, he's probably 5th or 6th in the rotation. Jonathan Cooper is a very, very dark sleeper. I don't think he's going to lead the team in sacks, but I think he's a good player. He's a good player who's going to, I think, surprise the country by putting up more sacks than the country thinks, but the country's not expecting much, as we'll get to in a second. I've got some numbers for you guys.
I was going to say, I don't even know if the country knows who he is.
Yeah, that's why he's going to surprise people. They're going to be like, who has this number of sacks? Oh, Jonathan Cooper, number 0. That's pretty cool.
If he plays, people will notice him quickly because of his number.
Yeah, it's very true. So that's why I'm going Frank Clark, mainly and unfortunately just because of availability and consistency. He's put up pretty much 6 sacks every year.
I'm going Zach Allen.
Oh.
And I know the odds of him putting up big numbers they're not good. I even looking through what JJ Watt has done. Like, so he spent the last 2 years in Arizona, but like even his last year in Houston, played every game, had 5 sacks.
That's what I've been saying.
And that's just like
Shut your mouth.
but that's just what happens. And there's part of me that wonders. I tried to look at it. Seems like JJ Watt got more opportunities on the edge than Zach Allen. Like, he definitely did. Whether it's a significant number, I'm not sure. I don't love the idea of Zach Allen on the edge because I don't think you want a speed rusher out there, not a power rusher out there. But regardless, if you're just looking at what's best for any individual guy who's on that defensive line, the edge just produces more sacks. And maybe Vance Joseph thinks that that's something that he should be getting more of. So I could kind of see how he could move into more of a J.J. Watt role and pump up the numbers a little bit. But like I said, J.J. Watt numbers weren't great. I think he probably winds up with like 6 or 7 sacks. And if I'm betting on somebody, like I'm just taking a guy who I know is going to be in it instead of saying like, oh, maybe Randy Gregory is going to be healthy. Maybe Frank Clark is going to turn back the clock a little bit and be what he was in Seattle when he gets to Denver. Or maybe Nick Bonito is going to figure things out. Like Zach Allen just feels like the safe option.
Yikes. If Zach Allen leads the team with 6 sacks, they're not sniffing the playoffs.
Gonna look like last year.
He'll really be called Sack Allen then, though, leading the team in sacks.
He will. I just have to go. I have to go to the talent.
Okay.
I have to bet on talent, so I'll go with Randy Gregory.
It'd be nice.
Betting on a prayer.
He is so far and away the best player
Yeah, without a doubt.
in this conversation.
He's a monster.
Now, Zach Allen is a really good player, too, and I'm high on Zach Allen, but just for other reasons than getting sacks. When it comes to sacks, Randy Gregory is by far the best talent available to the Broncos.
Without a doubt.
So I just have to go there and just cross my fingers that he's healthy, and when he was healthy last year, he was highly productive. So hopefully get 14 games out of him. If he does that, then he leads the team in sacks.
But we're just concerned about availability for so many of these guys, specifically with Randy Gregory. And if something were to happen with anyone to make them not available for work, specifically football, you got to call our friends over at Backus and Shanker, 222-2222. If you're in any sort of accident,
Zackus
Unfortunately,
and Hanker.
July 4th. Yeah, is that what we're seeing?
Not yet, but it will be there.
Yeah, it'll be there. July 4th, great holiday for so many people. Unfortunately, it's, I think like the most hospital visits of any
Damn.
time of the year.
It
and if
is.
something happened to you where you need help, call our friends at Backus and Shanker, 222-2222. They've been through these tragic, sad, awful situations that you've been through. So they know not just how to work on the legal side, but they know how to relate with you and help you there. So call them at 222-2222 or check them out at coloradolaw.net because it's free consultation, free when they work on your case, and they only charge you when they win for you, and they've won over $1 billion for their clients. So they're the best in Colorado. Call our friends at Backus and Shanker at 222-2222.
I didn't want to see Backus and Shanker, so I avoided fireworks. I've kind of moved past the fireworks stage of my life.
Wow.
But I did want to light something yesterday, so I brought some Kind Love joints up to the mountains.
Turbo stick?
No, the opposite. Actually, they have a nice low potency, blend or whatever you want to call it. that I got in on. Got it for the Dead Show. Had a little left over.
Wow.
Good stuff.
You waited
man.
till after the
Wow.
games were over, though, right? To celebrate?
I did.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I was scared of what I just needed to
Yeah,
stay in the
yeah,
zone.
exactly.
Can't mess with the zone.
Yep.
Boy, was I
zone.
in the zone. Like bouncing ping pong balls into a muffin pan.
And then they
Dialed.
have to stay.
have to stay, yeah.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
I imagine a metal muffin pan.
Yep. I
that
go
is
6
tough.
for 6. Not
Dang.
in a row, but filled the muffin pan.
Wow.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yeah, so if you're going to make some muffins at home, get in on some Kind Love products before. Check out our friends over at Kind Love. Honestly, great stuff. Tons of different options. And
25% off.
get 25% off when you use the code DNVR. Mention DNVR when you're in the store, and they will hook it up. That is a great deal.
That
It
is
is.
an incredible deal. Speaking of deals, let's play a little deal or no deal. Take it or leave it style for the Broncos sack artist this year. So you're only going to know one player at a time. And you're going to have to take that stat that I drop or leave it before knowing what the rest is. And we'll see how many of these that you guys take. And I'm pulling these numbers not for myself, but I'm pulling these from ESPN's Mike Clay. These are his projections, so kind of a national neutral site version of how they think the Broncos are going to pan out sack-wise. Let's see if Mike Clay believes in this group or not.
Probably not.
Yeah, and I think you'll kind of get an idea with our first one right here. Take it or leave it. Nick Bonito, second-round pick, the Broncos' first pick in the draft last year. 1.5 sacks.
I can't take this because it just doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Right.
Like, even if I leave it and he gets 0, nothing changes.
100%. The upside compared to the downside
Yeah.
of the upside of leaving this compared to the downside of taking it is not even close. Yeah, you leave this.
You definitely leave it. But if you had to put $50 on the over or the under, which one are you taking?
I'm taking the over.
Me too.
Everyone loves a low number. I'll take the over.
Yeah. He had 2 last year.
Yeah, and probably maybe even more opportunity this year for him. Just
We'll see.
naturally, regardless of if he gets better or not, just with the injuries that
Yeah.
could happen to that
And just
position.
no Chubb factoring in anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's no Chubb, you typically take the over.
Yeah.
Okay, next
boy.
one. Jonathan Cooper, 1.5 sacks.
Leave it.
I'll definitely leave it. I'll
And-
definitely take the over.
So this is why I was saying I think nationally, maybe just Mike Clay, but nationally, people are going to be surprised at Jonathan Cooper. I would take the over on double this as well.
you
I might
think-
even take the over on triple this number.
Do you think
Yeah.
Jonathan Cooper leads the league in O's in his name? 4?
4?
Oh, yesterday.
That's pretty
Nope.
good. Yeah, there's got to be another
Amari
other
Cooper.
Coopers.
Who's
but
the-
yeah.
Who's that center from Michigan? I forget. Maybe the Ravens drafted him.
What team does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a no for me.
Yeah, no.
Olusegun. Oh, only 2 O's.
Yeah.
I thought there was room for so many O's in there.
And then you include the 0. to
He
make it
probably doesn't
5?
have the most, but I bet he has the most of anyone who wears the number 0.
Well, that's between 3 people, I think. 4
Is that
maybe.
really it?
Well,
Thomas Incoom. There's 3.
Calvin Ridley has 0, and he's the number 0.
True.
Maybe that's why he did it, to have 0 O's to be the number 0. He did like the opposite of Jonathan Cooper.
He was probably trying to tell everyone how much money he won off those bets he made.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I remember the details came. He's the only one where the details came out about like what he bet, and it
Did
was
he
like
lose?
It was like 3 like 8-team parlays.
Oh no! Were they for a lot of money?
I think it was like $1,000 to win 50,000 or
He
something.
put 1,500. I just read over the weekend because again, like you go on vacation to read things you could read at home. But the point is, I was just reading his Players Tribune thing from a couple months ago, and the whole thing was just like a list of every bad thing that ever happened to him. And in his defense, like a lot of bad things have happened to Calvin Ridley, but it really was just like, hey, I know I did something wrong, but like I deserve for good like feel bad for me so that you'll like me. And I didn't come away loving
Feeling bad.
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
Which like, and he also, I don't know,
He should
put
blame the person
$1,500
who
in.
writes the articles at Players Tribune for that.
Wow.
himself.
No, they don't actually write it.
There are some.
Oh, they don't. They just kind of tell them the story and then someone else writes it.
They do like yeah.
There are some that they definitely write.
I'm sure there
and
are.
you
I'm sure
can
there are.
really tell that it was written by somebody who doesn't do much writing.
I won't throw the specific player under the bus. I just happened to get to view one of these things
Yeah.
happen one time. It was essentially just like an interview that they then said just write in first person afterwards.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think that was the case.
Yeah.
So of course, don't
Sorry
take
to
things for
pull
face
the
value.
veil back on
Yeah,
Players
geez, you
Tribune.
just showed me how the sausage was made. It's disgusting.
Wow.
Last sausage I'm ever eating was yesterday. Then apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you eat it or did someone eat it for you and then say you eat it?
Oh, it was a Beyond sausage. So is that even a sausage?
No. I don't think so.
It's beyond sausage.
Yeah, it's beyond me.
Oh, it's
Wow.
Beyond Meat.
We did We did Chicago style hot dogs on the 3rd.
Okay.
And then we did like brisket, mac and cheese, collard greens
Yeah.
last night, and it was I told my dad maybe the best meal I've had all year.
That sounds
Wow.
incredible. It's not even 11, and I could eat that right now.
Oh yeah. That's the worst part about having to leave the mountains is I don't get any of the leftovers.
Oh man, that's why you need a whole week.
Exactly.
You know someone
first
that-
week of July.
You know someone that can make that happen, Ryan?
I do. They don't ever like my time off suggestions.
Okay, let's see if there's a little more confidence in some of these Broncos pass rushers by ESPN's Mike Clayton. Next one, DJ Jones, big boy, 3 sacks.
Take.
I'd leave it.
Would this be a career high for him?
I don't.
No, I
It'd
think
be.
he got 5 once.
Yeah.
Had to be with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Henry's
3
pulling it up.
He had 3 in 2020. That's the most.
And that's a career high. I would take this. What do you have last year? 2?
2.
2? Yeah, I'd take it. Obviously, if DJ Jones is leading the team in sacks. Oh my goodness.
He like
Oh my goodness.
whenever he gets a sack, it's kind of like when you find money in your pocket.
Right.
You're just like, oh shit, $20.
Yeah.
That's like what a DJ is Jones Saxon. So I'll take
That's
that
so
3
true.
times.
I would too. Henry is turning it down.
Yeah.
Henry's getting greedy here. I'm curious how greedy he gets. Next one is Baron Browning, 4 sacks. Remember, starting the season on PUP, so you got to count that into his season total. Last year he had 5.5. Is that right?
I'm leaving it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he did
leave
have
it as
5.5.
well. Henry's left everything so far. For
Yeah.
what it's worth.
Because again, like worst case scenario, I lose 4 sacks. That's not the end of the world. Like, give me the upside. Give me the chance that he actually does break out. Like a lot of people around here thought he would last year. 5 last year.
5 last year in 14 games, 8 starts. So
Played
played
60%.
14 games.
Took a step though.
5
I mean,
sacks.
he played-
I never count on players who are on PUP to
Yeah.
do anything, but I'm with Hank in that the loss, if I leave it and it doesn't hit, isn't that hurt? It doesn't hurt me
Yeah.
that much.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate. I agree with you guys. 4 sacks would just be like, oh my gosh. Because now this is his 2nd year since transitioning to OLB. There's still hope. Obviously, the injury hurts, but there's still hope that maybe he can be this bendy guy who's just like a rare talent. And if he puts up 4 sacks this year.
Couldn't you see Vance
on.
Joseph be like, we're actually moving him back to inside linebacker?
Yeah.
I could see anything.
Or next year is when they do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, I mean, Hank just hates this. Hank hates this. Let's see if we can give him something he
Yeah.
likes. Zach Allen, 6 sacks. Mr. 6 sacks
You
himself.
said it.
Yeah.
You said that'll lead the team.
Yeah.
So far, it would.
I think I would take it. 6 sacks. I mean, it's a career high. It's tough to turn down a career high. I do think the upside is obviously higher. Like, you're not
Yeah.
getting the upside out of any of these projections. So there's some risk, but I'll take 6 sacks.
I would take 6 sacks from Zach Allen. That's a good year, because if I'm turning down 6 sacks, where are we getting sacks from? So I would take 6 sacks. You're not screaming over this number, but you're satisfied with it.
Yep. And you're hoping he's not playing on the edge.
Right.
You're hoping it's 6
Right.
sacks and he's just playing on the inside the entire time. Because those are the ones that feel like bonus sacks.
Take it. I just have to tell a quick funny story that's happening in real time as we speak. This just shows how much I like my job. I'm
boy.
getting all these Slack messages right now from Allie. She's like organizing shit. And I was like, man, I can't believe that she just like, we got back from the mountains. She just hit the ground running and started working. And then I realized like, oh, so did I. It doesn't feel like it to me.
It's true. Yes, it doesn't feel like that. I mean, getting to talk ball.
Yep. Anyways, what's next?
Next up, we have 2 people that we haven't talked about, and one of them is Randy Gregory. 6.5 sacks here. This would be 4.5 more than Randy had last year.
I'll turn it down.
I can't take it.
This would also, guys, this would be a career high.
Yeah.
You're saying you can't turn down career highs earlier. It's hard to do that. He's had 6 sacks twice. This would be a career high by half a sack.
That's so bad for the Broncos that they gave him that money for that. But I can't take this. I can't. The Broncos need someone to be near 10 sacks. He's their best chance to do it.
Yep.
I cannot take 6.5 for him.
If he winds up with 6.5, that's another one where it's like they're not making the playoffs. Like, you just need more from him. And I don't think he's going to wind up with more just because of the injury history, but you got to roll the dice. And, you know, if he gets 6.5, then you wind up whatever. Oh, congrats. You won 7 games, 8 games again, and you're cutting him in the offseason. So what do you really get if you get 6.5 sacks from him?
Well, you get a lot more than what he's produced in the past 4 seasons. And the reason why I'm taking the past 4 seasons, those are the best 4 seasons of his career. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, boost his numbers. In the past 4 seasons, he's averaged 4.25 sacks a season.
Yep.
That's like a pretty darn big sample size. And you guys are leaving over 2 sacks on the table here. But I agree, the upside. I mean, like, if you're going
It's not
to
even
get
an upside
something,
thing for me.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of what Henry said. It's not even worth it to take it.
Yeah.
Because if he gets that, sure, career high for him. Good job.
You're cut.
It means nothing for the Broncos.
Cut after
Yeah.
the season,
Yeah.
and the Broncos.
shows
like,
you
what did
how
they really
bad
do
of a
this year?
contract that is.
It's a really
if he gets a
bad
career
contract.
high
Yeah.
and you're cutting him.
Except that they made it so easy to get out of it. And that's why you're
I
cutting
should say
him early.
the first 2 years of the contract would
Yeah.
be bad, but you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
5-year deal with only 2 years guaranteed. That is more player
Yeah.
friendly or more team friendly. So I agree with you guys. I'm leaving it, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's how low the bar is. And then final one
Should have
here,
kept Vaughn.
who Mike Clay thinks the Broncos will lead the team in sacks. Frank Clark, 7 sacks.
Definitely take that.
Definitely take it.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm with Ryan. I'm ready to use that D word. I'm definitely taking it.
Yep.
Definitely, because
You
this
got a guy just in the middle of the summer off the street, and he got you 7 sacks. Like, sign me up. Now it was $7 million a sack.
$1 million a sack, and that number over the past couple years has actually gone. The million per sack has gone up,
Yep.
and so now you're actually getting like a value out of this.
I think I'll leave it. Like that, I just
What would you take from Frank? Like, what number would it have to be? For
honestly,
you to
like
take?
8 might have been enough.
You know,
Like 9 would be almost definitely. But I mean, we're talking about a guy who made the Pro Bowl in 2019, made the Pro Bowl in 2020, made the Pro Bowl in 2021, didn't make it last year, and like the sack numbers weren't massive in that time. But again, the Broncos just need guys to pop if they're going to be any good this year.
But Henry,
I'm leaving as much as I can and just rolling the dice.
but Henry, you're also talking about a guy in the last 3 years who has averaged 5.2 sacks per season in the past 2
Exactly.
years, and you're leaving 2 sacks on the table.
Yeah, because you've seen the playoff success. You know he's capable of more. Like he's had 13. Like he had 10, then 9, then 13. Again, that's 4 or 5 years ago now. But honestly, with all these numbers, my first thought is leave it because again, like how many wins did Mike Clay project the Broncos for? Like 8?
Yep.
That's not something you take, and so there should be a lot of things that you leave in the numbers. And if he winds up with 7, I feel very similar to Randy Gregory. Like there you go. Like if you don't take it, what does he wind up with? Probably like 5. He's probably right there. You leave a couple sacks out there. Let me roll the dice on as many guys I can roll the dice on because somebody needs to break out. Otherwise, you're looking at 7 wins, 6 wins.
Fair.
8 wins, maybe.
So we've talked about individual numbers. Let's get into collective numbers. What this group has to do for it to be a success. Would you take or leave a certain number of sacks on the table? Because I don't think any of us are expecting a ton out of this group. So let's dive into that. But first, what do we love here at this company? Love.
Kind love.
Kind love. And we love it. So we got to tell you about it twice. We got to tell you about our friends over at Kind Love. Because if you like something, you give a shout out. If you love something, you give them a double shout out. And our friends over at Kind Love, we love. Scan the QR code, and it's going to take you right to their website. And use the code DNVR in store for 25% off. They're one of the first cannabis companies in Colorado, established in 2010. They're known for the highest quality cannabis in the state, and they cultivate it themselves. They have authentic genetics, patient grow techniques, and the highest quality brands in Colorado. They go from seed to sale. They do it all. That's pretty much like farm to table in the food biz, just now in the cannabis biz. So Turbo Joints, we've talked about them, and we've also told you about 25% off. Go to one of their stores in Cherry Creek, North Denver, and mention DNVR and get 25% off all kinds of Kind Love flower pre-rolls and Turbo Joints. So check out their Turbo Joints at 25% off. Visit them at kindlove.com or at one of their 2 stores. That code DNVR for 25% off.
Boom.
And how about our friends over at Shady Rays?
We never have 2 on the third read.
Because we only have 4 pods this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Packing it in like a
exactly.
Kind Love pre-roll.
Make sure that you go over and buy some Shady Rays too. It was a big Shady Rays weekend. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just wore them the whole time. There really wasn't a time I wasn't wearing them.
I had a Shady Rays story.
Really?
Went fishing on Sunday. I can't remember what day was what this weekend.
It's true.
Maybe it was Monday. I think I went fishing on Monday. The polarized lenses when you're looking into the water, massive. You feel like you're gonna see straight to the bottom. I was like, wait. I was just like, oh, there's a fish right there. Whoosh.
And
It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Who knew that that was the secret?
I know. Polarized lenses, the key to fishing.
Wow. Henry should have wore those, and he could have seen through the green.
I like to not catch the fish though. I don't want to touch the fish. I don't want to cut the fish up. I don't want to put a hook in a fish. Like,
I'm right there with you.
I just, especially if I'm not eating it, it's like, hey, just for fun, I want to put a hole in you. Like, that's just, I don't know. I do enjoy.
It's not for fun.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna cut and pull the eyes out of a fish and all that sort of stuff. That's just not what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm not eating them. That's for sure. I don't know where else they go.
This guy, man.
I've said before,
it's actually a great take.
I'm
right
more
there
than
with
willing to like tie a little bait onto like a line and just throw it out there and feed the fish. I said almost this exact same thing to Mel Tucker once. He looked at me like I was insane.
Yeah.
I bet.
He was like, "What the hell are you
bet.
talking about?" I was like, I don't want to catch the fish. I enjoy feeding fish.
So you're not putting the hook on it. You're just.
You would get even
Exactly.
worse.
Yeah.
You'd get an even worse look if you told this to Coach Prime. Big
Oh
fisherman.
yeah. No. Mel Tucker also.
Sean Payton also probably would give you that look.
I bet. Yeah.
There are a bunch of very intense. I mean, coaches are scary people. You gotta be crazy to be a coach.
I really think about like 80% of the population in the U.S. will give you that look. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Here, do you have your mic on?
I do.
Oh, good, because we got a comment over the
Wow.
weekend saying, "I just miss Yahir's voice. His mic
that
seems to
comment's-
always be off."
That comment said something else.
It did.
Yeah.
What did it say?
I don't know if it's better with his mic on or off.
Yeah, you. You're
Yeah,
right.
I
we
don't think
can't-
you read the last line.
Oh, I must have not. Oh, jeez.
I was like,
It was just like, I don't know what's worse. Yaya talking with his mic off, or the shit that he says when his mic is on.
Yeah, because that was the draft day. Because he was throwing some weird stuff out there.
He
You
was.
mean the real stuff? Want to get real?
What's your
No.
favorite thing about America? Yahir would say
Tornadoes.
the
Oh, I
president.
did say tornadoes.
The president.
The president.
Tornadoes.
The thing is, the thing wasn't what's the most America draft, not what's the best thing about America.
What do you love about America?
That's not what the draft said, though.
Yeah.
I was playing this game this weekend
Wow, you
called.
still don't understand, Henry.
Wait, it was just what's most American?
Oh my goodness.
No, it was
What
a
do
draft of American things that you want on your team.
Exactly, things that you like. You
Yeah.
draft things you like out of it.
We were playing this game this week, like where you
That
fill
are
in the
most
blank, and I forget what the name is. It's called like "What the Bleep" or "Are you bleeping serious?" Something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things was I never listen when blank are talking, and my answer was the president.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That I think a lot of people would agree with you. Did that
Doesn't
win?
matter who it is. I'm not listening.
Did that win?
It's not how that works.
Oh, you played a game.
Everyone
that
tries to
wasn't
guess
about
what you're
winning?
gonna write. No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
So it didn't win necessarily. It
Yeah.
did win because no one got it right. I
Yeah,
guess I got a
yeah.
point off of it.
So you did win,
Yep.
kind of. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't win the game though.
So Shady Rays, DNVR, 50% off 2 or more pairs of glasses. Check them out. We love them. Okay, now.
Wait, one last side note. I get the hype on pickleball.
Oh, did you play?
Really?
Fun game.
Oh man, I've never played, but it seems awesome.
Yeah,
Just
great.
a small tennis.
It's like the perfect. And I understand why like it's kind of for all ages.
Yep.
Because you're being active. You're
Yeah.
getting a workout, but you're not like gassed after it.
No, and you don't have to put like too much stress on the knees. I would think.
Yep.
You're not actually running cross court.
No, not a lot of cross court running.
Why
No.
not badminton?
Um.
Just like what makes pickleball better? Everybody talks about pickleball.
like-
The taller nets are harder to throw over sometimes.
Badminton
If
just
you're throwing
doesn't.
something, you're doing something wrong.
I don't know. Well, first of all, the ball can bounce, so that's a nice thing.
That's fun. Probably makes a cool sound.
The mittens can't.
Yeah, I mean the other question would be like, why not paddleball? Feels like
I don't know
paddleball and
that one.
pickleball were in like a head-to-head race. Pickleball won.
Huh.
Pickleball just got the vibes.
I feel like I played paddleball at your house. It's
be.
just like with a. It's just like with
Were
a
you not
different.
there?
What's was that
Paddle is like a
pickleball?
little more paddly with like a bouncier ball. Pickleball is with like a wiffle ball and a
So you
smaller.
get to hit it harder.
Yep,
So that's fun.
it is fun. It's really
Okay.
fun to hit it hard.
Wouldn't the OG be the one? Yeah, handball, but with the racket.
Oh,
Racquetball.
tennis?
Racquetball. No, racquetball. I mean, you're just in a room. The ball's never
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
leave you.
That
balls
feels
are
kind of
so hard.
They
inconvenient though,
are,
because you
that's
gotta go
true.
to like a court for it.
Yep.
That's true. But
You do kind of have to do that for
you kinda also
pickleball.
have
Oh,
to
really?
as well.
You could
Yeah.
take
Don't you guys have like a pickleball thing in your driveway?
You could, yeah. It
Okay.
would be very unserious.
You could
but
play pickleball,
Oh.
or you could play racquetball in your garage, I guess.
I have to say,
Closed space.
I didn't play tennis, so that's a huge disadvantage for me in pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
But I've played a lot of ping pong, and so I was like putting
mix.
some spin on these
Wow.
things that like these old people had just never seen.
Wow, you
Wow.
calling Allie old?
No,
Damn, oh,
She was on
your
my
partner.
team.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
old?
that's true.
mid 60s.
You need better competition, bro. These
That's what I'm
backs-
saying.
this
Pick on
un-
someone
this
your
un-
own size,
This
Ryan.
undefeated streak is very Disney like.
look,
Mickey
just
Mouse.
like what. Let me guess. You also think the Nuggets had an easy path to championship?
No,
Like
I
you
don't
can
like
only
it here.
play who's in front
No,
of
I
you.
only think the Lakers have a Mickey Mouse, not anybody else.
Look, you
Yeah,
can call
because who
it
they
a-
have to go through? Oh, the Denver Nuggets. Screw
Like
you
I said,
here.
I'm
No,
trying-
the bubble. You know what a bubble is?
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know
I
what a
remember
bubble is?
remember when the
That
bubble
thing
was
is-
happening and everybody's saying, "Wow, this is the best basketball I've ever seen." Like this is like just the most pure
Are
form
you
of basketball.
defending a Lakers
Yeah.
championship right now? Just to
Because-
argue with you here?
I'm not
Oh,
gonna say,
boy,
"Oh
a
wow,
Chiefs and a Lakers
so
fan
easy for
here.
the Lakers. All they had to do is beat the Nuggets." What the hell are we doing?
No,
I see what you're saying.
Like it's
a fair
just
point.
a championship.
I would
They're all
say that-
championships.
all championships that weren't won by Denver teams were Mickey Mouse championships.
Oh boy.
But I already said I want to go up to the big leagues of family Olympics. Just find me the good families. I need to join them.
I learned Mexican trains today, which is still what we call that.
You did
which-
what?
Mexican trains with the dominoes. It's like a game.
Oh, a game called Mexican
Oh,
Trains.
okay.
I get like I am a little bit. I don't know. I googled it. Like they haven't changed that name, which is weird to me. But that's not the point. The point is, it was a really fun game.
That's good.
Did you win?
I also played a game
No.
involving trains this weekend. It's called Ticket to Ride.
Yep.
Good
I
time.
played that.
Is it a board
Guys,
game?
That's
we're about,
intense.
We're about 70 minutes in. We still got a full
Okay,
segment
okay,
to go.
okay.
I
have a
don't
full
have.
segment.
Yeah, I mean,
let me hit you. With
Where am I
some-
gonna go?
Let me hit you with some group stats here. The Broncos, if they put up, pull it up, you hear, 40
Sleep at the wheel.
sacks as a team.
Oh,
I was thinking about this. How much money do you think they're paying the pass rushers?
Well, Gregory about 13 million, so 20
Yep.
million you put in with Frank Clark, and then everyone else. Well, Zach Allen, are we including him?
to include DJ Jones.
Yeah.
Then you're at $35 million
Okay.
between those guys. No, actually, probably a little more, $38 million.
Okay.
And then you have a bunch of rookie contracts, so $45 million.
$1 million a sack.
So you taking it?
I'm gonna leave it because it's not quite $1 million a sack. I need to get my money's worth.
It's fair. It's very fair. This would be, to put it in perspective, this would be the 20th most in the NFL. So not
Wait.
bottom.
What would
Oh,
45
in the
get you?
projections,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And what would it do last year?
it would have tied for 14th through 18th.
So middle of the league.
That would honestly probably be overachieving for this group.
I know. Well, and then on top of that, so it's that's 40 sacks. They had 36 sacks last year. They had 36 the year before. They had 42 the year before that. So it's kind of in line, if not a slight step up from what we've seen in the past. But again, like, what do you look at the Eagles last year? They had 70. Why'd they go Super Bowl? Because they had 70. Second, guess
Why'd
what?
they lose? Because the NFL cooked the field so they would neutralize the pass
Did you
rush.
see the
Oh,
report that
boy.
came out on Monday when we were doing our pod? Mike Florio,
Yeah.
I believe, said that the NFL is slowly leaking that it was the players' faults
Yeah.
for sliding on
Wearing
the
the
field.
wrong
Yep.
shoes.
Yep.
No,
Classic.
it was just a bad field. Do I think that they wanted the bad field to affect one team more than the other? No, it's just a bad field. But so they were first. Guess what? The other team that made the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, they were second. 55 sacks. That's kind of a big drop. Then the Patriots with 54 and the Cowboys with 54. So like there is a gap between 40 and the top. Like 14th sounds good when you're talking about the Broncos, but I mean the Broncos were 25th last year with 36. Four more sacks only get you up, or it gets you up that far. Like so many teams are just packed in that like 34 to 40 range.
So you're not taking it.
I think I might as well take it. Like
Wow.
I do.
Didn't
I
all
don't
those
know if that's
numbers
enough.
add up to 40 though?
That's
all
the
the
thing.
ones that you left.
Yep.
That's the
Yep.
thing, is that each one individually, it like I feel like they're capable of more, but then when you see 40, it would be nice if this became a strength of the team. Like the Broncos need to find more strengths to the team next year if they're going to make the playoffs. If you can just get 40 though, it's a nice round number that is an improvement over the past.
I'm taking this out of being scared. I'm playing scared here. I hate that, but that's unfortunately where the Broncos are with their pass rush situation. I'm afraid that this could be a bottom 5 group in the league. So you're saying that it's not going to be bottom 10. It's going to be slightly below average. Yeah, I think I take that, unfortunately. And I hate playing scared here because I'm not going to do that with other positions. I think other positions should be way better on this team. But just with this one, you're guaranteeing that's not going to be an awful position.
It's not going to be like the Bears last year with 20.
Honestly,
Oof,
you
that's
talked
tough.
you talked me into it. I think being middle of the road would be an overachievement for the group.
Yeah.
So I think on paper this is one of the worst rooms in the league.
So speaking of on paper, Mike Clay also compares every single position as a group. Where do you think he has the Broncos edge rushers? So this doesn't include Zach Allen or DJ Jones.
Yep.
And how, it probably includes like how many games Randy Gregory plays. Does that include in his projections?
He does include that in his projections. But for this, I don't think he's taking health into account.
Oh, so if you don't take health into account,
So what he's got, he's considering the group Frank Clark, Randy Gregory, Baron Browning, Jonathan Cooper, and Nick Bonito. Guys we've talked about.
okay.
Outside linebacker specifically.
Yep.
If you include health, then like we're talking 28, 27. If you don't include health, 13,
Okay.
12,
Which one are you
13?
closer to, Ryan?
It's certainly closer to the 27.
Well, you guys are damn close. He has him as the 26th best edge rushing group, which means a bottom 7 group, which means I know there's pass rush from the defensive line too, which means they're outperforming kind of their standards. And then the Broncos' interior defensive linemen, he has them as the 13th best group in the NFL. Yeah. So he kind of sees the interior defensive line pulling the sack numbers up to be the 20th. You know, there's two are meeting pretty much right in the middle.
Yeah, it's this is maybe the biggest hole on the team that gets talked about the least.
I agree.
Like I haven't seen a lot of people panicking over the Broncos outside linebackers, but we might be looking in week 5 being like, dude, this team can't rush the passer.
And it's just such a weird spot because just a couple of years ago they had Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. Then last year they had Bradley Chubb.
Yep.
Then they traded both of those guys in the past 2 years to kind of start over, get some draft capital, and they used that draft capital outside of Benito on different places. But then this year it's like they needed to do something at edge rusher, but it was just too awkward because they had too many things invested in other pieces that hadn't fully materialized yet. So this is the year. I think this is a big make or break it year for this group. We could see all new faces next year. Frank Clark might not be here. Randy Gregory might not be here. Baron Browning might be kind of settling in as like a good backup option for the Broncos. Heck, maybe they move him inside if it doesn't work out. Nick Benito might not be here after this year with Sean Payton coming in. So we're looking at potentially a completely new group. Or we're looking at Randy Gregory, broke out, had 10 sacks. Maybe a re-sign of Frank Clark to another 1-year deal, and Baron Browning proved that he can be an outside linebacker. And you're saying, oh my gosh, the Broncos were risky in what they did with outside linebacker, and it worked out.
Yep.
Mike Clay also has Randy Gregory projected for 596 snaps. Most in his career is 2018, 522. Outside of that, it's 477, then 270. And 245. I don't think he's hitting that number.
Dang.
Career best by like a wide margin, a full game or maybe game and a half.
Yeah.
Probably game and a half.
Man, this is a dark place to be when you're looking at the outside linebackers. It's crazy how we left pretty much every single individual stat, but then took the entirety of it. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Speaking of the comment section, should we talk to the people really quick before we got to get out of here?
Yes.
No super chats, right? You hear? First comment on the website coming in from Boozy says, hey, DNVR fam, anybody an eye doctor? The Shady Raids read has been itching my brain lately, and I'm looking for clarification. The boys say polarization protects your eyes, but isn't all dark lenses? My understanding is that polarization brightens up dark areas so you don't have to take off your sunglasses when looking into the dark spots, like the trunk of your car. Not trying to bash Shady Raids, but I'm sure they have great sunglasses. But no, yeah, polarization helps your eyes. It helps the UV.
All right.
I'm pretty sure.
I bet because
Zach's the eye guy.
The polarization reduces glare. That's what it's all about. So there's less glare. Glare is what makes you.
So you weren't kidding.
Yes,
this makes so much sense.
There's science that explains what you saw. But then the glare is what makes you squint, and when you're squinting, that means bad things are happening to your eyes because your eyes are like naturally trying to protect themselves. So if it reduces the squinting, that means it's helping your eyes.
I think
Boom.
That's bad news for me.
Based on me and my science.
I just have a lot of faith in my squint game.
Really?
That's why I won't put on sunglasses sometimes because I'm just like, I'm really good at squinting.
Yeah. That.
Does squinting a lot ever really hurt your brain though?
No.
Man, sometimes it gives me headaches.
Huh.
Like I said,
I don't even. It might
really
not even be
squinting.
because you're still letting some of the light in. It's because when you let the light in, the light is damaging like the rods and the cones in your eyes. And so that's why you squint so that there's less light, but the things that get hit are still being damaged.
Wow.
So it is damaged. Like right now, if I
what about like
actually
other
right
animals?
now is a bad example.
Are their eyes just getting destroyed constantly?
I'm sure they've like adapted,
So that's
or
what
like
maybe
some have like
happened to me.
third eyelids.
Maybe I just evolved.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe just like deer over tens of generations, you just adapted by yourself.
Yep.
Henry, you're spot on about how it helps your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So bingo.
Oh, I know.
So
use
polarization
squint
does
lens.
help.
That reminds me, somebody in the chat said you can't go see a volcano in Denver. You can't see the museum about the pineapples in Hawaii in Denver, and that is all true. And I do like going to museums.
You could go to Adventure Golf where they have a volcano.
That is true.
Henry, Pearl Harbor, being a history
See,
guy,
and
you gotta love that.
I would love going to Pearl Harbor. Like when we went to London, Tower of London, incredible. Like that sort of stuff, that's what I will go see. In terms of like
found your vacation hack.
yes, but like you really got to be able to pack it in if you're going to be there for a week. Because I don't know, I have a good couch, and I can sit there and I can read my book right there. If it's like, oh, there's a beach, go sit and you're in the sun. It's like, yeah, cool. There's sun. I can control the temperature in my room. I don't know. I just don't need it.
I'm
here
not a
can't
vacation.
stand.
I'm not a vacation guy either. But even then,
crazy.
you have to understand that when you go to these places, there's things to do. It's fun. It's like even if you're not a vacation guy, there's things that you could actually have fun doing.
Like the museum.
I
Like
just
when we went
never
to,
thought someone could not be a vacation person.
Crazy.
when we
That's
went to San
wild.
Diego, though, like we went to the Midway Museum, like the big old aircraft carrier. We went to the zoo. That was cool. But again, like you just need to have so many activities because any one of those only takes like 3 hours of your day.
I think the big problem for you is that you don't really like food.
Yeah, that's true. I
Food is
mean,
a big thing.
Like
for
I think that
people
is
on vacation.
the number one thing for me. Vacation.
Same for my
It's
fiance.
Like, I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
wait to try what the locals eat here.
Yeah.
yeah, like in San Diego, it's like, oh, it's Mexican food. Guess what? I live right next to a Mexican restaurant. I eat good food
Gotta
here.
be different though. Yeah.
Huh.
Not the same. The further south you go, the better the Mexican food is.
The more realistic it is.
No,
Again,
the better.
No, that's not necessarily true because Colorado's Mexican food is better than Arizona's. But in
But
general,
it's not
He's
that
tried
much
it all.
more south.
but it literally touches Mexico.
Pearl
But,
Harbor
like,
would be safe.
You're in Phoenix too.
I've actually been
Phoenix
there.
is like, not
You've been to
that.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
So
when I
been
was
there,
like
done that?
11. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've forgotten most of it. Well, I haven't forgotten what happened to Pearl
all
Harbor.
right, what else we got?
Okay, next one coming in from the count. He says TDSP Mount Rushmore coaching top 4 is legit. Number 4 has to be Cougs. He is Broncos royalty through and through. And what you all didn't really talk about was his in-season coaching moves in 2015. Not only did he coach a team full of stars to a title, but he benched a first ballot Hall of Famer and then knew exactly when to bring him back in. And he coached the Brock Lobster to a marvelous run. He knew exactly how to use C.J. Anderson. He let the dancing bear do his thing with the D. His 2015 job was a masterclass in coaching, the likes of which the Mile High City hasn't really ever seen in terms of pushing all the right buttons at the exact right time. Only someone who knows the game from the angles like Cougs could have done that. Love the count.
Yeah, so we debated hard what the Denver Sports Mount Rushmore of coaching is. And I finally just like, I was just like, I'm going to give it to Cougs. Based on all the reasons that he said. Obviously, he doesn't have any longevity, but the ones who did have longevity didn't have championships. But the big thing for me was like, I'm going to use this as a tiebreaker, even though it's not technically part of the conversation. He was also a coordinator for 2 other championship teams.
Yep.
And so he got on there for me.
He was a top coach in every Super Bowl.
It was down to like him, Doug Moe, or Dan Reeves.
So he was your number 4.
Yeah. I'd go
Yes.
Doug Moe, I think.
So
I
the hard
get
thing is
appeal.
like we went through this, and so if you weren't in the conversation, I would have come into the conversation saying Doug Moe. Doug Moe, if you compare his resume side by side with George Karl, you might not know which one's which.
That's fair. Yeah, no. But again, like it's just the air. Like I don't think the Nuggets were capable of.
But see,
all
that's
that
what I
much
said
more.
too. And then it was just like, actually, he just inherited Larry Brown, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and put them in a really good place. And then Doug Moe, who was one of his assistants, took over. Like, I originally thought Doug Moe too, and then I was talked out of it. And then I realized I'm just going to give this to Cougs. He's beloved. He's universally beloved.
George
Yeah.
Karl would be. Yeah, it is tough. Bednar got in.
Yes.
Huh.
It's Shanahan, Malone, Bednar, Kubiak is what
it's
we came to.
Oh, but not the early Avs championships.
No,
They didn't get in.
Crawford or Hartley.
Yeah.
For Cougs, that was the greatest coaching that I've seen ever.
Yeah.
Now I don't know every single sport, every history, but in Denver, that's the single greatest coaching job. Now, like you said, it was only 1 year, but it's kind of like the Terrell Davis Hall of Fame conversation. It was short, but it was about as good as you can get.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
He had a perfect coaching season.
Yeah. So I love that you put him in the top 4. I actually didn't think he was going to make the top 4.
I didn't either. And then when push came to shove, I was like, there's no way I'm putting Dan Reeves in there.
No.
Yeah. Gosh.
So Yeah, I was happy with where we landed.
I love it. I love it. And we have one more coming in from the Big
God.
T. Says, morning, everyone. I've slightly fallen in love. Have you seen the length of this one?
Yeah, I just saw you scrolling it.
I've slightly fallen in love with the member of the DNVR podcast. Not actual love, of course, but from a football analysis perspective and also life analysis. This dude is just like me. I'm sorry to tell him. Sure, this is totally subjective and only my opinion, but after every podcast, I'm left with a feeling like he really gets the game of football, or he really understands competitive sport, or
If this is your here, I'm going to lose it.
shoot, this guy gets it more than the other two. So the other two is probably one of us three.
Oh, shit.
And these types of thoughts have continued daily, usually for the last 6 months or more. Furthermore, his opinion on life marry up, usually with my own too. Now, this is where I must bash the other two, as he comes against a near constant disagreement, belittling, mockery, or attempted humiliation by you both, usually in jest, but not always. It's always in
Definitely
jest.
Hank.
It's
Yeah,
gotta
he
be.
consistently just bats back your attempts by ripping his own opinions apart on sport or life, whatever it may be. He never gets mad, just backs up what he's saying with fact and solid opinion. I think I might have misread something earlier.
Yeah.
Even though he sometimes might have a WTF are these guys talking about look on his face, his opinions almost always line up with my own. He's what keeps me listening. So this leads me to my own question. How much competitive sport have you all played? Who played the higher level
We don't
of
get an
football
identity?
or any team sport? Bowling and golf do not count, RK, as they're not sport and clearly not team sports. Hashtag shots fired. And I wonder whether that is why I agree with his opinions
No, it's one of
more
the
than the
guys.
other two. Hope y'all have a great 4th of July, which, by the way, you guys still owe France and Spain for bailing out of that one. Take care, peace out, and love to you all. The Big T.
Wow.
He says he's a filthy redcoat. He says, and if it's not obvious, who am I talking about? I'll tell you the next episode.
No, it's
Whoa.
obvious.
It's obvious. It's very obvious.
Saying that he doesn't get mad kind of threw me off a little bit. Hank gets mad.
Henry doesn't usually
I
get
get
mad.
mad my own way, though. I've been mad at every Friday for weeks.
The way he's
Can't wait for Friday. Oh wait, I won't be here. Damn it. Can we do a draft tomorrow?
We can draft
Sure.
tomorrow.
Let's go.
What are we drafting?
Asking you shall receive.
What are we drafting?
I'll figure it out.
It's me and Dre on Friday.
Yep.
I'm not doing draft with Dre.
No, we're drafting
We're
tomorrow.
drafting
just
tomorrow.
There we go.
decided.
Good.
We're to bury you.
That's what I'm here for. What was the question again? Oh, did we play sports? I was on the golf team in high school.
What's
I was
the
on
most
the
competitive level you played? Is what he wants to know.
probably
Of any sport.
lacrosse.
Okay.
Speech and debate doesn't count. Just to clarify.
Yeah, if he's not counting
Yeah.
golf as a sport, I
That's
don't
fair.
think he's
Also,
counting
that's
speech
so-
and debate as a sport.
That's just
Yeah.
a dumb argument saying golf is in the sport.
Yeah,
I mean-
agree with you. It's not
Yeah.
a team sport.
But in
is not
terms
team
of what he's talking about, like, it doesn't. It
You
wouldn't
can be
make sense
competitive
to.
in golf,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yeah.
Competitive or
Yeah,
like pressure or all that stuff.
yeah.
I played lacrosse, and I had one Division II offer to play in college. It was from a college whose name I don't even remember. Who they're in New Jersey. They were previously a girls only school, and were just expanding to include men. And so they had to add men's sports. And so their standards were very,
damn.
very, very low. They were desperate looking for anybody. Yeah. So I was like a bad lacrosse player.
That's impressive, Hank.
Yeah.
got-
Lacrosse isn't great in
Got
Montana.
a D2 scholarship or offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could have played golf in college. I was pretty burnt out on it, and I really missed team sports. I was burned out on competitive golf. I never get burned out on actual golf.
Right.
But I really missed team sports by the end of my high school career. So then I played ultimate frisbee, won the state championship, and played in college. So that's probably the highest.
College
I'm a
athlete.
college athlete.
I won. Oh, wow. I won an intramural soccer championship.
Ooh, that's
and
tough to do.
The reason I got included was because there's like the A League and the B League, and there were rules about like if whatever percentage of your team played competitive soccer, you had to be in the A.
Oh, right.
So by including me and some other losers, they got to play in the B, and so I rode the pine and contributed a couple minutes a game, and we won the championship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have our
Bless
role,
you.
Henry.
Yep.
Bless you, you're here.
I wasn't all that interested anyway. I went to like one practice and was like, oh, I'm not good. I don't
Well,
need
they
to play all that much.
practices. That is intense.
Yeah, it wasn't.
For
That's why
intramurals.
That's why we're champions.
Soccer is a really hard game when you didn't play it a lot.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you're like out there with people who have played, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing at all.
Yeah, they said
That's probably true of most sports, but like For some, I think it's
Soccer
just
seems easy.
You rarely use foot-eye coordination in the way that you have to in soccer or in any other sport.
It's the way you walk and you usually use your feet, and then you have to go and do something else with them. You're just like, what the hell's going on?
It's an odd transit. Like there was a summer where all my friends wanted to go play soccer, and so like I would go with them, and I was just like, I just don't feel like I am learning this.
Well, and the weird thing is like you do walk, but as like I felt like if I'm not if I'm walking, why am I walking? I should be running.
Yeah.
Like I should be contributing. So I just wear myself out running everywhere. The other thing they kept saying, just over and over and over, they said like it's all about triangles. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Like when in terms of passing.
Yeah, it's like all about triangles. So just make sure you're in good triangles. So I was like, what is just triangles? Okay, whatever.
I mean, it's called Total Football for a reason, and it's Phil Jackson.
There's a whole part of Ted Lasso about this.
And Phil Jackson actually got the triangles offense from football that was created in the Dutch in the 70s, and that's how Total Football transitioned to basketball.
I think you mean from
passing.
soccer.
Football.
Anyways.
On a football podcast, it does get a little confusing.
It does.
From soccer.
Is that all we got?
I think it's Buffs talk now.
Let's go. We're a little late. The chat's going to be upset. So we'll get out of here now. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.